Hi, I'm Sharon. Welcome to my theory tuition series where we're working through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download these in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. Also on my website you'll find a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time come exam day when you're actually working through your exam paper. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be fab, and please do subscribe and share the channel. And now we're going to continue with paper S of the 2018 practice papers for grade 2. So if you turn with me to page 16, we'll continue beginning with question 3. And as I always say, I hope you've had a go of this first. Doesn't matter if you're wrong, it's always better to learn by your mistakes. And so let's check through this together. So question 3 asks us to rewrite the following melody using notes of half the value. Now helpfully they've started us off, excuse me, and they've given us the new time signature. But notice here we are counting 4 beats in a bar and each beat is a minim or a half note. Here we're counting 4 beats in a bar, but each note is a crotchet or a quarter note. So you can see that everything's halved. And so what we're going to have to do, we can see the semi-breve, the whole note becomes a minim. So we need to add a stem to make that a minim or a half note. We colour the minim in to make it a crotchet. The half note becomes a quarter note, and then of course we dot it, and then to make this half the value we have a crotchet which we just pop a little tail on to make it into a quaver or an eighth note. And so continuing in that manner, we need to colour these note heads in. They will become crotchets now to halve those. These will become quavers or eighth notes. So we're going to have to think about beaming these. We can colour this one in, that will become a crotchet. And then here, instead of dotted crotchet quaver or dotted quarter note eighth note, we will beam that, and then that will become a semi-quaver. So we've got quaver, semi-quaver. Here that will become a crotchet, so we'll just colour that note head in, that's a quarter note now. We'll beam those to make them quavers. And then of course these will become minims or half notes. So we've done most of the thinking now, and so I'm just going to get the blobs in the correct place. I'm keeping everything aligned with the original just so I don't get lost. I've got enough to be thinking about. Now I'm not beaming these straight away. I know we can group those all together, but we're going to have to make a decision about the stems, so we'll come to that in a moment. Let's just tackle one thing at a time. So let's get the note heads in place. So I've already worked out which ones I'm colouring in. Nice bit of therapeutic colouring and of blobs going on here. And then we don't colour these in, but they will have a stem. So then, let's start thinking about the stems. So these will need stems to make them crotchets or quarter notes. Now here, we know that we can beam quavers or eighth notes in 2s, but we also know that we can beam them together in 4s, so long as they don't cross over the halfway point of a 4/4 bar, which they're not doing. So now we need to decide which way the stems are going to go. Now this stem technically should be coming down. This one can go either way, that can go down or up. These two need to go up. So really this one's outvoted because this can go either way. These need to go up. This one is going to have to just follow suit. And also this is only one step away from being either way, where you can see this one's further away, it's 3 steps away, so this one has the greater need also. So that's given that decision an answer. Now then we just need a stem for this to make it into a crotchet. Then we can beam these two together, no decision about the stem because they both need the stems going up. This stem can go either way. So I think I'll just keep it going upwards. These can be beamed together, and then these just need a stem. So take it a little step at a time, and that's easily done. Excuse me, it's just tackling one little thing at a time. Let's press on to the next question. So now we are asked to write these scales below. We need to use semi-breves or whole notes, so there's no need to worry about stems. And we're writing 1 octave. We need to write D major ascending, so we're going upwards. We need to start low and work our way up. No key signature, but we need to add any necessary accidentals. So we need to bear in mind what the key signature would be and then apply those as accidentals. Now D major has a key signature of 2 sharps, F sharps and C sharps, so we need to bear that in mind. However, the first job, let's get the blobs in the right place. So we're just using whole notes, so there's no need to colour in or add stems. We're in the treble clef, so I'm starting on low D, the one next to middle C. And then scale literally means step. We're going next door notes, space, line, space, line, space, line, space, line. D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every good boy deserves. So I know that we've not gone wrong there. So that's correct. So we've got all the note heads in the right place. Now we need to add the key signature. So don't forget, you put the sharp sign before the note. You need to know before you play it. When you're writing it in letters, in words, you say C sharp. But when you're writing it in music, of course, you say sharp C, because otherwise you play the note and it's like, oh shucks, I should have sharpened that. So remember, it needs to come first. So we need F sharps and C sharps. There we go. And that's the job done. Let's press on. Now we have to write a minor key signature, a minor scale with a key signature, but before we do that we need to say which minor scale we're using. You could choose harmonic or melodic. I always suggest for this grade you choose the harmonic minor because it ascends and descends in the same set of notes, so there's only one thing to think about here. We'll deal with melodic minors in the next grade. And so we are descending, we need to come down, so I'm going to start here and work my way down. However, let's just get the key signature in place. So the first job is to figure out what the key signature is, and so there's a bit of revision required here. We need to know that E minor is related to G major, which has a key signature of F sharp. So there's our key signature, the related key, and then we can get the blobs in place, going down, space, line, space, line, space, line, space, and I'm going to need a ledger line. Wherever you start, you're going to need a ledger line. So I'll do it this way. And then the 7th degree of the scale is raised in the harmonic minor form. Don't forget we're descending though, so don't go 1, 2, 3, 4 because that's not correct. We're actually going backwards now. It's 8, 7, 6, 5. So 8, 7. Here's the 7th, and we raise that D by adding a sharp sign. So that's now completed. Again, if you just take things one step at a time, it's easily dealt with. If you try and do everything all at once, that's where mistakes happen. So let's press on to question 5. So then, now we're told to write after each note, we need to write a higher note to form a melodic interval. We're in G major, so we're always counting up from G, regardless of which octave or which clef. And they've given us the first answer. So we're writing after, not above here, because a melodic interval, one comes after the other like in a melody, and we're always counting upwards from the given note. So here we can see the only way you can go wrong is if you forget to count the given note G as 1. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see there we've gone up a fifth. If you forget to count 1, you'll end up being one step out. You can always double check that though. If I just write out the steps of the scale, of course it's F sharps, but your key signature will deal with that, so we won't worry about that. Steps of the scale. So we can see from G to D is a fifth. So let's press on. So if this is G, this is one note up is 2, 1, 2, and we've gone from G to A, and we know that's correct. So we're way down in the treble clef now, so we're going to need to just bear in mind these ledger lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, counting space line, space line. That takes us to C, G, A, B, C, and we can see that that's correct. So that takes us to middle C. There we go. So still in the treble clef, but we're starting on a higher G. And of course, G to G is an octave. And just check that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's our G. And we know that's correct. Every good boy did his football F, G. There we go. So back into the bass clef. So we're back to this low G here. Now we knew that this was a fifth, so surely one step higher is a sixth. So do keep an eye on what's gone before just to double check yourself. We can count that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we can also see that the sixth is E. So we're lots of ways of checking that answer. Now we're right up in the top of the treble clef here. So we're going to need some ledger lines. So we've got 1 is the space, 2 is the line, 3 is the space above that. We've gone G, A, B, and we can see that that's correct. That's a third. So that's that question completed. We'll look at the next questions in the next video. I do hope that this is helpful to you. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Please also do share the videos. Have a browse around my website, go to sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.